you like it? Sensitive or seeker who wants to learn more? Welcome to the Mystic School with Sarah Wiseman, where we dive deep into all things mystic and metaphysical. Here's Sarah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mystic School. You can find me if you're interested. I am at sarahwiseman.com. And you can find me. And on the website, there is so much information, so much free stuff. Anybody interested in spiritual intuition, which is what I've been teaching for a long time, just go there and check it out. There's some free gifts and some other things, so check that out. We are having free readings Tuesday today. You can call in to the show, 888-298-5569. That's 888-298-5569, and I'd be really happy to answer your questions. So as we've been working on the Mystic Show for a number of months now, we're going to take a little bit different turn and start to talk about some of the specifics that happen when you begin to open yourself up to intuitive practices, the intuitive arts. And what I tend to focus on is two things, and this isn't all that I focus on, but these are my two things that are kind of my favorites are clairvoyance, which is seeing in third eye visioning, and channeling, which is sort of psychic hearing in the inner ear, or the third ear, we might call it. And so today we're going to talk about, is third eye visioning real? What is guided visioning, and how can we use it for divine guidance on any question? And we'll just try a little experiment right now. So before we get too technical, because I don't like to be technical, I like to be just easy, because this stuff is as easy as stepping outside and looking at the sky and feeling that sense of calm and relaxation that comes when you just take a moment, you take a beat, and you just feel into everything that's in your situation. You just feel into it. And this stillness, or this moving outside of the distractions and the barrage of information that's always coming in, allows you to have a deeper knowing or a deeper truth. And it's almost like a toggle switch. We are toggling from your mind / ego / personality, which is how we normally we're just usually running the show from that part of us. You're toggling from that to your soul self. And your soul self, all it wants to do is be an expansion, be fully connected to everything, experiencing oneness, experiencing nowness. This is where your soul lives. So you're toggling from mind, ego, personality that is just like, I want it my way, I'm stressed, this isn't happening right, this is a disaster, I'm angry, I gotta get here by then, there's traffic, all that stuff. I'm worried, I'm afraid. You toggle from that over into soul self, and it's suddenly like, Now, the body, interestingly, the body's going to follow. The body prefers to be with soul self, but the body will actually follow whichever of those, shall we say, operating systems you're working from. If you're really into mind, ego, personality, the body's going to track on that and get all the stress and take all that uproar on, and you're going to feel it all in your body. If you're toggling over to soul self, the body's going to feel relaxed. It's going to release all the trauma. It's going to feel really good. So when we work in visioning, what we're doing is, first of all, we're going to toggle out of mind, ego, personality. We're just going to let that part of us take a breather, take a pause, sit this one out. We're just going to be like, hey, I know you have concerns, ego, but thank you. We'll get you later. we just don't need to let this part of us run the show all the time. So when we get to third eye visioning, what we're working on is seeing a vision. And the reason third eye is talked about is because, we have our two physical eyes. And third eye is a way of seeing that is more like, for those of you guys who haven't done this kind of work, it's more like how you see when you're imagining something, or it's how you see when you're dreaming something. There's this sense of seeing it slightly separately from your two physical eyes. It's different. It's not of the physical world. And so we talk about seeing in third eye, or sometimes seeing on a visioning screen that's just right in front of your face. Now, is there a real visioning screen? No, it's just a tool. It's just a tool to help us get and capture this information as it starts to come in. Because those of you who have meditated, or even those of you who have a lot of dreaming, know that sometimes the information starts to come in so quickly. It's so slippery and so fleeting and so hard to capture, hard to catch. It just comes in too fast to make use of. So what we're wanting to do with using a screen as a system or as a tool is that's our a little net that we catch the information in, or that's the screen where we put the information on so we can slow it down and slow the amount of information down. So third eye, that's this place we tend to see. We tend to see third eye, or on the vision screen, same thing, different names. And what happens there? So a lot of people will say, oh, I'm just making it up, or yeah, I can see stuff in my imagination, but it's not real. It's just made up. I was just thinking about that, or that's what I wanted to happen, so that's why I saw it there. And I would just like to suggest that that's actually not the case. When you really get out of mind, ego, personality, and you really open up to, I'm okay with whatever I see, I accept the process. I'm here to be curious and here to not be attached to any particular answer. You are toggling this switch from ego, mind, personality to soul. And when you toggle the switch and agree to be in soul self, the information that comes in through third eye visioning is really, just honestly, just astounding, the accuracy you can get. So we're going to do a little exercise in just a minute with that. I do want to remind you, today is Free Readings Tuesday, and I love to have people call into the show and talk about what's going on with them. The lines are open now, so you could call into 888-298-5569. I'm very happy to chat with you. That's 888-298-5569 if you wanted to call into the show. I really welcome whatever's on your mind. We always learn from, whatever people are going through. Pretty much everybody's going through that probably. And also, if you have something interesting that's happened to you that you are interested, like in the spiritual realm, or if you are working on your intuitive practice and have some questions about how all that works in terms of what offering I might have for you in terms of that piece. So the thing that to remember about third eye visioning is, yes, you could go in and imagine in third eye this is known as fantasizing. You could go in and fantasize an entire outcome, and this would be a projection of your ego, mind, personality. Yes, that can happen. So there's no point doing that. There's no point going into fantasy. Like, when you're in mid-high and you have a crush on someone and you just fantasize about everything, and you're really strongly in third eye fantasizing. But all of that, again, is led by ego, mind, personality, which is never correct, basically never. or sometimes it's correct, but it's not correct at the highest level. So that is guidance that is going to take you sort of nowhere. It's not going to take you to a different level of awareness or a different level of consciousness. So we don't even want to bother with fantasy or projection or like making up all this story about how we think it's going to be, because the universe always is bringing us something better than we can figure out for ourselves. And even if we don't necessarily see it as better at that moment, if we remember that the purpose of life is soul growth, so the universe is continually bringing us to the soul lessons that we popped into this life to learn. Like, hey, before we came in, we're like, I want to learn this and this and this. And the universe is like, okay, here you go. You said before you were born, you want to learn this and this and this. And so here we go. You haven't managed to learn these on your own. So we're going to pop in some situations and you're going to learn those things. And again, sometimes it doesn't seem so pleasant, or might be even really hard. But we're learning and growing. We're learning to become more compassionate. We're learning that oneness is real. And we're learning that we are just a tiny little part of the consciousness that's always happening everywhere around us. We're just a tiny little piece of that, like we're a tiny little piece of collective soul. So how can we use this third eye visioning? So when I'm working in readings with people, or when I'm training students in the Intuition University program, what we work on is we work on having a question that we don't know the answer to, and then we get a vision in our third eye. I call it our guiding vision. And then we compare and we see how we did. And what becomes very interesting is the accuracy that's here. And then we begin to sort of expand this so that whenever we have, say you're practicing reading a client, for those of you who are interested in that, we do a pre-reading for the client, getting a guiding vision beforehand. And then the client comes and says their questions, and we provide that pre-vision, that vision we did before we even knew who was going to show up. And we provide that to that person. Years ago, I would read at places like East West Books in Seattle, or in Mountain View, or New Renaissance in Portland, just the West Coast references there. And I would never know who was coming in for the day for readings. And so I would just get out a piece of paper before everyone started coming in, and I would just do guiding visions for each person. Person one, okay, here's the guiding vision. Wow, that's interesting. Person two, here's their guiding vision. Person three, and so on. And then as they would come, I wouldn't even ask their questions. I would just say, let's begin with the guiding vision I received for you. Person one, person two, person three, all unknown. And it's remarkable, and it even shocks me after doing this for so long. Like it's a very interesting process. The universe is always giving you the answer that the person needs to understand most, or the person needs to focus on most. And that was interesting to me. Like, how could those things be associated without even knowing who's coming in and what they wanted? And yet it was just so accurate. So lines are still open. I do want you guys to take advantage of this time before the show runs out. 888-298-5569. 888-298-5569 for free readings Tuesday. Just call in live. And we've got a little bit of time, so we could take callers still. Nobody's on the phones now, so if you call, you'll be the first one through. So let's just do this now. I just want you to imagine this Space, this is a chakra space, third eye. I just want you to imagine that it's opening. So you can open your regular eyes, and then you can open your third eye and just kind of hold that open and sort of sense how it feels a little different. And I am going to go to the calls now so we can make sure we've got time for that. So let's go to Linda calling from Seattle. Linda, welcome to the program.
Yes, hi.
Hi. What's on your mind, or
So,
what can I help you out with today?
yeah, I'm feeling so conflicted about a few things, and um, my intention all the time is to try and control the stuff, and I know I can't control it, and wondering what I can do with this wanting to change things that actually haven't even happened yet. I'm worrying about them.
So, yeah, so you're just jumping ahead of yourself and getting all in a tizzy about stuff that's not even real, right? So,
Right.
um, you know, there's no sense trying to control, because control, it means that you are feeling separate from everything. You're trying to control it, you don't trust things. And in fact, you can let go and trust and just let things kind of fall into their own place. And even if you think it's not what you want, you may be very surprised that it turns out better than if you were trying to tightly grasp and control. I think the reason you feel conflicted is because you know that you already know the outcome isn't going to be what you want, and so
Yeah.
you're controlling it, but you already know, and it just kind of brings up all these emotions, but you already know it's not going to work like you think you want. And what the guides are saying to me is like, that's good. It's good that it's not going to work like you think. That failure to control or fix it is going to provide a lot of opening um, to the whole situation, so you don't have to be there anymore. Does that make sense to you? Like, if you just let go and let it happen and just sort of see how it goes, it's going to give you so much more information, and it's just going to be better that way.
So, I guess it's about, like you said, trust. That it's real hard to trust things that are so about other people. That things are going to go a certain way or not. I have a son who's having a baby first time, and his marriage has been real rocky, and this they've been married 7 years and did IVF and all that, and I sort of was thinking the universe was saying that they wouldn't be good parents really to this baby, and then my husband and I involved ourselves to pay for the IVF, and now just I don't know if there's some big blow up when we go there or whatever,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, yeah. So this is a place to you've already paid for the IVF, which is generous, but this is a place to step back and step out and let them have their marriage and let them have their lessons, and you and your husband attend to other things. Like, this isn't really your business. Um,
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's
We
not
we
a,
had
it,
kind of,
go
excuse
ahead.
me, we had kind of taken that stance, but now we have this grandson, and we're thinking, oh, we're responsible. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a dangerous situation, then somebody's got to be responsible. That's not what I see at all. Stepping back will give them more room to let things flow to their natural conclusion, whereas you guys interfering is blocking what needs to happen from happening. So
Mhm.
even if, even if they got divorced, it wouldn't be the end of the world. So
Yeah, that's
just,
true.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So Linda, just let go. This is not something, they need to have their own path. You need to bow out, and in bowing out and letting the universe be in charge instead of you trying to be in charge, things will unfold much better than you imagine. So
Oh, that's
yeah.
such a great reminder. I don't know why someone has to tell me that, but I guess so.
Oh, well, we all have to keep reminding each other of that. Hey, thank you for calling. I'm gonna go take another
Mhm.
caller, but I appreciate it, and don't worry so much. The universe is is fully in charge, and will make
Okay.
this work out for you. Thanks for calling.
Thank
Hey,
you.
thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, good example. Stacy from Sumner, welcome to the program.
Hi.
Hi, what can I help you out with today?
Well, I guess I kind of felt like calling in. There's been a lot of wild things happening in my life, and I guess I just felt like I needed to hear from you.
Yeah, a series of wild things or unpleasant things or crazy things is always a call to really start paying attention to what exactly you're doing and who exactly you're with. And just kind of how you're reacting to the information the universe is giving you. And it feels like you're getting some pretty strong messages from the pattern of all these wild things happening. What do you think it's about?
I guess like not knowing my own potential, and like I guess I've kind of kept myself back in certain ways, not allowing myself to move forward with things that I've been afraid of and
Hmm.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And are any of these wild things related to one person or a couple other people besides yourself? Like, is there a pattern there? Like, is there a pattern of
Um,
others in your life bringing chaos to your life, I guess is what I'm looking for.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. There's been like I guess a couple more than one
Hmm.
person. Um, they're not like in relationship or anything. I have my partner and I are great. It's just like outside stuff that's been
Yeah.
really on me, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's almost like the universe is asking you to choose. It's not really, it's kind of boundaries, but it's more like look at the patterns of where the chaos is coming from and try and figure out a way to separate yourself from those people or those situations, and then don't don't attract more. It's sort of like you're giving a choice to sort of up level yourself with the kind of people you're hanging out with or that you're letting be involved, even if it's close friends or family. Sometimes we are evolving at a pretty fast rate and the people around us aren't, and we need to move on without them.
That totally resonates with me.
Yeah, yeah. I think you'll know that you're on the right path when things get non-chaotic. They just smooth out, and I think that this could actually happen pretty quick for you. But you do have some relationships to let go of, so it's hard, but
That
it's
sounds
better.
about.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Thanks for calling in. Yeah, it's hard, but it's better. Um, thank
Thanks.
you. Well, I want to get back to the third eye visioning. So, um, I want you to just let a vision pop into your third eye right now. Everybody listening, we're going to wrap up the show in 1 second. First thought, whatever comes into your mind. Just whatever it is. Could be a thought, a memory, could be a vision. And even if you don't know what this means, I want you to understand that there's a relational aspect to whatever you just received, even if it was just silly. Like I got an ear of corn, a harvest ear, a lot of associations with that. And the question that you answered within this third eye visioning, kind of a blind reading, is what do I need to pay attention to today? So I'm going to be looking at it's harvest time, a lot of ears of corn around, it's a symbol. I'm going to be noticing as I go around my day. If I see that, I'm going to be paying attention to who I'm with, what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling. And I'm also going to be letting that third eye vision, that guiding vision, bring me back to any memories about that or any symbolic meanings, anything else. And I'm just going to let that percolate. What am I supposed to be paying attention to? The universe is trying to give me something about that relates to some stuff I'm working on in my life. What is that? And this is how simple guiding visions are, third eye visioning. We just allow from soul self, we toggle off mind, body, mind, ego, personality. We turn into soul self. We relax. We allow first thought, first vision to come into that space where we might imagine or dream. We don't know what it means. And then we just look back to the question, what am I supposed to be paying attention to? And then we begin to go out into the world and see what comes forward to build on that answer, give us more information, and so forth. It's a very, very interesting process. You have been listening to Sarah Wiseman with The Mystic Show. You can find me at sarahwiseman.com, and you will find we have a free mini course there, The Magic of Blind Readings, that anybody can get and participate in. It's right there on the front page. Thanks so much for listening, guys, and I will be with you next week. Thanks for listening.